Have you ever experienced a sudden ringing in your ears and wondered what it could mean? Many of us have encountered this puzzling sensation at some point in our lives. While it's often dismissed as a random occurrence, there's a growing belief that ear ringing might hold a deeper spiritual significance. In this video, we'll explore the fascinating world of divine messages and the spiritual meaning behind ear ringing. Let's start by understanding what ear ringing actually is. From a medical perspective, ear ringing, also known as tinnitus, is the perception of sound when no external noise is present. It can manifest as a ringing, buzzing, whistling, or humming sound. While there are various medical explanations for this phenomenon, ranging from exposure to loud noises to age-related hearing changes, many spiritual traditions suggest that there might be more to it than meets the eye, or in this case, the ear. The difference between medical and spiritual causes of ear ringing is an important distinction to make. Medical tinnitus is often persistent and can be linked to specific health conditions or environmental factors. On the other hand, spiritual ear ringing tends to be more sporadic and often occurs in conjunction with other experiences that people interpret as spiritually significant. Throughout history, numerous cultures and spiritual traditions have attached meaning to the experience of ear ringing. Ancient civilizations often viewed it as a sign of divine communication or a message from the spirit world. In some Native American traditions, for example, ringing in the ears was seen as a sign that the spirits were trying to communicate important information. In modern spiritual circles, the interpretation of ear ringing has evolved, but the core idea remains the same, that it could be a form of spiritual communication or a sign of energetic shifts. Many people today believe that ear ringing could be a sign of spiritual awakening, a message from spirit guides, or an indication of changes in one's energy field or consciousness. The type of ear ringing you experience is believed by some to carry different meanings. High-pitched ringing is often associated with higher frequency energies and might be interpreted as communication from spiritual beings or higher realms of consciousness. Low-pitched sounds, on the other hand, are sometimes linked to more grounded earthly energies or messages. The ear in which you experience the ringing is also thought to be significant. Ringing in the left ear is sometimes associated with messages about your physical reality or the external world. Right ear ringing is often linked to spiritual messages or information about your internal world. However, it's important to note that these interpretations can vary widely between different spiritual traditions and individual beliefs. The duration and intensity of the ear ringing are other factors that some people consider when interpreting these experiences. Brief, fleeting rings might be seen as quick messages or alerts, while longer, more intense episodes could indicate more significant messages or energy shifts. Now, let's delve into some of the possible spiritual messages that ear ringing might convey, according to various spiritual beliefs. One common interpretation is that ear ringing signifies a heightened state of awareness. It's thought to be a sign that you're becoming more attuned to subtle energies and spiritual frequencies around you. Some believe that ear ringing can be a sign of spiritual awakening. In this context, it's seen as an indication that you're going through a process of expanded consciousness and spiritual growth. It might be interpreted as your spiritual self trying to get your attention, urging you to pay more attention to your inner world and spiritual development. Another interpretation is that ear ringing could be a form of communication from spirit guides, angels, or loved ones who have passed on. In this view, the ringing is seen as an attempt by these beings to make contact, offer guidance, or simply remind you of their presence. Ear ringing is also sometimes associated with shifts in energy or consciousness. Some people believe that when you're undergoing significant personal growth or moving into a new phase of life, you might experience ear ringing as your energy field adjusts to these changes. If you're interested in exploring the spiritual significance of your own ear-ringing experiences, there are several ways you can approach this. One method is to pay close attention to your surroundings when you experience ear-ringing. Take note of what you're doing, thinking about, or feeling at the time. Are there any patterns or connections you can observe? Keeping a journal of your ear-ringing experiences can be a helpful practice. Record the date, time, duration, and any other notable details about each occurrence. Over time, you might start to notice patterns or correlations that could provide insight into the meaning of these experiences for you. It's also important to note your thoughts and feelings at the time of the ear ringing. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the connection between our inner state and our spiritual experiences. Your emotional and mental state when the ringing occurs might offer clues about its significance. For those who want to develop their spiritual connection through ear-ringing experiences, there are various practices you can explore. Meditation is a powerful tool for enhancing spiritual awareness and can help you become more attuned to subtle energies and messages. When you experience ear ringing, try taking a few moments to sit quietly and focus on the sensation. Without trying to interpret or analyze it, simply observe it with curiosity. This mindful approach can help you develop a deeper connection with these experiences. Grounding exercises can also be beneficial, especially if you find the ear-ringing experiences unsettling or overwhelming. These practices can help you feel more centered and balanced, making it easier to engage with spiritual experiences in a calm and open way. Strengthening your intuition is another important aspect of working with spiritual ear ringing. Pay attention to your gut feelings and inner knowing. The more you trust and develop your intuition, the better equipped you'll be to interpret and understand your spiritual experiences, including ear ringing. As with any spiritual or paranormal topic, there are many misconceptions about spiritual ear ringing that it's important to address. One common myth is that all ear ringing is spiritual in nature. In reality, there are many potential causes for ear ringing, including medical conditions, and it's important not to ignore possible health issues. Another misconception is that ear ringing always carries a specific, universal meaning. The truth is that the significance of ear ringing can vary greatly from person to person. What's meaningful for one individual might not hold the same significance for another. Some people believe that ear ringing is always a positive sign, but this isn't necessarily the case. While many interpret it as a benevolent form of communication or a sign of spiritual growth, it's important to trust your own intuition and feelings about these experiences. There's also a myth that you need special abilities or training to interpret spiritual ear ringing. While developing your spiritual awareness can certainly be helpful, anyone can explore the potential meaning of these experiences in their own life. Regardless of whether you interpret ear ringing as a spiritual sign, these experiences can offer valuable opportunities for personal growth and self-reflection. They can serve as reminders to pause and check in with yourself, to consider your current life direction, or to reflect on your beliefs and values. Ear-ringing experiences can also be an invitation to expand your spiritual awareness. Even if you're skeptical about their spiritual significance, they can prompt you to explore different perspectives and ways of understanding the world around you. For those who do interpret ear ringing as a spiritual phenomenon, these experiences can be powerful catalysts for spiritual growth. They might inspire you to deepen your spiritual practices, explore new teachings, or connect more deeply with your inner wisdom. If you're interested in working with ear-ringing experiences, here are some practical steps you can take. When you notice ear ringing, Try to pause and take a few deep breaths. Create a moment of stillness and see if you can sense any impressions or feelings associated with the experience. You might want to ask yourself some questions. Does this ringing feel significant? What was I thinking about when it occurred? Is there any message or insight I can glean from this experience? Remember, there are no right or wrong answers. The goal is simply to explore your own perceptions and insights. If you want to enhance your spiritual receptivity, consider incorporating practices like meditation, mindfulness, or energy work into your daily routine. These can help you become more attuned to subtle energies and experiences. It's also helpful to cultivate a sense of openness and curiosity about your experiences. Rather than immediately trying to categorize or explain ear ringing, allow yourself to simply observe and wonder about it. As we explore topics like spiritual ear ringing, it's important to maintain a balance between skepticism and openness. Critical thinking is a valuable tool that can help us avoid falling into superstition or making unfounded assumptions. It's okay to question and seek evidence for spiritual claims. At the same time, maintaining an open mind allows us to consider possibilities beyond our current understanding. Many spiritual and scientific breakthroughs throughout history have come from people who were willing to explore ideas that seemed unlikely or impossible at first. One approach is to adopt a stance of open-minded skepticism. This means being willing to consider new ideas and experiences, while also applying critical thinking and seeking evidence or personal validation before fully accepting them. Remember that it's okay to say, "I don't know," when it comes to explaining ear ringing or other unusual experiences. Embracing uncertainty can actually be a powerful position, allowing us to continue exploring and learning without becoming rigidly attached to any one explanation. It's also worth noting that the significance of ear ringing, or any spiritual experience, is highly personal. What feels true and meaningful for you might be different from someone else's interpretation, and that's okay. Trust your own intuition and experiences while respecting others' perspectives. If you're interested in exploring the spiritual aspects of ear ringing, consider keeping an open dialogue with yourself. Regularly, check in with your beliefs, experiences, and interpretations. Are they serving you well? Do they align with your values and understanding of the world? Be willing to revise your views as you gain new information or insights. Remember that exploring spiritual ideas doesn't mean you have to abandon rational thinking. In fact, many people find that critical thinking and spiritual exploration can complement each other, leading to a more nuanced and holistic understanding of life's mysteries. As we wrap up our exploration of the spiritual significance of ear ringing, let's recap some key points. Ear ringing, while often explained by medical science, is believed by many to have potential spiritual meanings. These can range from signs of spiritual awakening to messages from guides or indications of energetic shifts. The interpretation of ear ringing can vary based on factors like the pitch of the ringing, which ear it occurs in, and its duration and intensity. However, the meaning of these experiences is highly personal and can differ from one individual to another. If you're interested in exploring the spiritual aspects of ear ringing, practices like mindful observation, journaling, meditation, and intuition development can be helpful. Remember to balance openness to spiritual possibilities with critical thinking and self-reflection. Whether or not you believe in the spiritual significance of ear ringing, these experiences can serve as valuable prompts for self-reflection and personal growth. They can remind us to pause, check in with ourselves, and consider our current life direction. It's important to approach this topic and all spiritual matters with a combination of openness and discernment. Be willing to explore new ideas, but also trust your own judgment and experiences. Remember that while spiritual exploration can be enriching, it's important not to ignore potential medical causes for persistent ear ringing. If you're experiencing ongoing tinnitus, it's always wise to consult with a healthcare professional. Ultimately, the exploration of topics like the spiritual significance of ear ringing is a personal journey. What you believe and how you interpret these experiences is up to you. The most important thing is that your beliefs and practices support your well being and personal growth. As you continue on your life's journey, remain curious about the mysteries of existence. Whether you view ear ringing as a spiritual sign, a bodily function, or simply an interesting phenomenon, let it remind you of the wonder and complexity of our human experience. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of divine messages and the spiritual significance of ear ringing. Remember, the pursuit of understanding, both of ourselves and the world around us, is a lifelong journey. Stay curious, keep exploring, and trust your own path of discovery.